Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the British Tier 8 Premium Tank Destroyer, the Vindicator Charioteer. Now, what is the Vindicator Charioteer? It's not one that you see all that often, and that's for a fairly good reason. I mean, mostly it's pre-6.0 reasons, because after 6.0 it's not that bad. It's not a Charioteer. And that's the problem, because the Charioteer has a beautiful 105mm gun. It's got great hash rounds. It's a pretty damn good tank destroyer. It's very stealthy, hits hard, all that beautiful good stuff. Now the Vindicator Charioteer is the Charioteer, but it's got the 20-pounder gun. Now it's not like the stock Charioteer 20-pounder. It's actually slightly buffed, so it's got like better rate of fire. I think that's it, to be honest. I think it's got a slightly better rate of fire. Now, in post 6.0 world, that slightly better rate of fire is just filthy, to be honest. 4.5 seconds. And then you boost it with food, and it's got a 4.3 or 4.2 second. 4.2 second reload. It can be pretty dirty if this gun is left to work. Now, obviously, the other reason that this gun doesn't feel as good as the L7 gun is because of the penetration. Because the penetration on that L7 that the Charioteer gets is 268mm of penetration with the 210 HESH rounds. This gets like 220 pen with the 20-pounder, and it gets like 250 odd or 60 odd with the premium pen. So that pen isn't as good as the Charioteer. And yeah, just generally, it's not as good as that tank, because it doesn't have the punch. But, like I say, if it's left to work, it can be beautiful. Although I like to say it's a rarity that it is left to be able to just work its DPM. So we're on this first game on Arctic region. And we've taken a pretty aggressive position, to be honest, for a Vindicator or even a Charioteer. We're on the front line. We are currently fighting it out in a place that this tank really shouldn't be. And we're making the most of it. We're pumping out the rounds. We're making the most of everything, of not getting shot. Either people are just leaving us alone, which is nice. But we're not chancing it with this IS-6. We're pumping the shots in, and if he even looks at us, we're just out, because we don't have the hit points. He shoots us one. He probably puts us on like a not even that. One shot, two shot for most people, and that's not where we want to be. Now on the Charioteer, and well, mainly on the Vindicator, because I don't really play the Charioteer anymore, because I did 3 more out a very long time ago. I run Armour optics and a camo net, because it's a tank destroyer. It doesn't get vert stabs. The gun handling is really good anyway, so it doesn't need anything like that. Camo net, because the camo on this tank, believe it or not, is very, very good. So buffing it, making it better is what you want to do. And Rammer, because that DPM is insane, and you just want to make that DPM. It's the strength of the tank, right? You want to make that even better. Now, in terms of the crew, I do run the normal perks, really, for the first 6. And that is Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Track Mechanics, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Camo Expertise, and Muffled Shot. Now, the Muffled Shot and the Camo Expertise, obviously, buff up the camo as much as possible, reduce the effect that firing has on the camo, and then the gun perks like Run and Gun and Situational Awareness, just to help it a little bit generally with the gun, because obviously the Steady Aim, 10% more accurate, obviously you really want that. And Run and Gun, because you'll see what I'm doing here, where I'm always kind of, obviously you can play like a stationary TD, but there's a lot of times where I am moving as well, and that little bit of extra, that 10% extra help with the accuracy while I'm just moving a little bit is nice. So we've managed to farm our way through this top flank. We're up to 4k damage, 877 assistance, and we're just chasing after the last 3 tanks. And the last 3 tanks are obviously an artillery, the TD, the medium. Now, our shot did whiffers from down the 5 line, so I am wary of that. And there we go, that it gets spotted up, and we get a nice shot into the 416. This replay is from a little while ago. Again, it's testament to how little I actually play this tank. Because you notice with the HP bars and the fact there is no HP bars, I just thought I'd point that out while we saw that shot into the 416. And now we're going to try and get a shot into this SU-130 PM. Now, we're not fully aiming these shots, and we are hitting most of them, and it's pretty nice. Like I say, the gun handling on this tank is pretty damn good. And we're just now chasing after this 416 in the hope that we can get some more damage off. If we do get there first, we should be able to get at least 1 or 2 shots into this 416. I mean, the reload being like 4.5 seconds means that, well, we can reload quicker than he can, and we can just YOLO him and get as much as we can. Now, we go for the first shot, and I think we just about damage him there. We're just going to put around the corner, drop another one into the front of him there, and he gets shut down by the STA-2. Now, there's only the artillery left, but we're not going to get that because he's been swarmed by a light tank. And we finished that game with a juicy total of damage, which is nice, especially for a gun that does only 230 alpha. Finished with the epic victory. First, 4 kills, 5,000 damage, 1,000 assists, 6k combined. 127,000 credits made as well, which is nice. Ace tanker, sniper, high caliber, Confederate, 2k base. A really nice game for the Charioteer, the Vindicator Charioteer. And yeah, it's not a tank that you see very often, and it is because of the fact that it's got a bad reputation. Pre 6.0, it definitely wasn't very good, because the reload, while it was still decent, you couldn't get it down to the levels that you can now. The accuracy of the gun wasn't fabulous. Like, obviously, now, post 6.0, the accuracy of pretty much all the guns is really good. And this gun is especially, because it was already a decent accuracy number, it just misbehaved a lot. But now, obviously, with 6.0 accuracy, it's absolutely fabulous. It hits most of its shells. You get the reload down to 4.5 seconds, and then you boost it with food even more, 4.2 seconds. And the DPM is just absolutely insane. And you can just pump out those rounds. And like I say, it's really nice for that. But the thing is, it doesn't have that punch of a TD. So there's a lot of times where you'll end up getting stuck firing and you're only hitting people for like 220, 230. I mean, with the damage RNG rolls now, you're probably hitting people for like 200 odd, you know, less than that, consistently. While you're hitting them a lot, if you get spotted and they turn their focus to you, you hit them for like 195, 200, they go, oh lol, there goes 400 of your hit points. You know, that's just the way it is. So this tank generally has that little bit less scare factor to what, say, the Charioteer does. So people do generally laugh at this tank. You know, it's one of those things, they'll see this tank and they'll most likely just rush you and come and harm you. And you can't get away from that fact, and you just don't have the bite. And it's just a sad fact of the Charioteer. But, like I say, now with 6.0, you can't really discount it that much because the DPM is insane. There is a problem with this tank, and it's going to be something that I think is going to be evident in this game, and that is that the ammo capacity of this tank is a little bit low as well, and that can be a bit of a pain because of how quick it does fire. It runs out of ammo really quickly, so its capacity to do quite a lot of damage in this game is fairly low, so you've just got to be aware of that. So we're on the second game anyway, on Kaunas, and we've taken this position that I like to take on this variant of the map when it's, I mean, there's this spawn for it when there's encounter, and it's also a spawn when it's standard battle as well on one of those variants. And I like to take this because anyone that crosses along the A-line gives us free shots into them, which is glorious. I'll take it every day. And also, you can get good shots at people who camp. Now, fortunately enough, we've caught out 1 or 2 people. We've managed to get 861 damage so far. We've got this Oho in front of us that we're going to try and get some shots at. And try and use the good accuracy of this gun as well to try and get some 6 snipes. That's what I'm going to call them, 6 snipes. We'll see if we can get the shots. We can't quite get them. I'll try and boost the food so that we can get a bit more accuracy and not just that. Try and re-spot him because he's vanished behind these buildings or this little hill. I've got to be careful though with that Oho because if he's got the derp gun, and I can't quite see it at the minute, if he's got the derp gun, it's going to hurt because we have no armour and we are paper. That is the problem with the Charioteer and this tank, is that they are paper. So anything with derp guns will laugh at you, pen you, make you not feel very well. And yeah, it's not fun, let me tell you. So, now the Oho is gone, I think there's something up there. There we go, it's spotted up, it's the 50 TP. And we're just going to start trying to pop some shots into this guy. I'm trying to track him. Obviously, we don't have the alpha or the gun caliber to track him first time, but we managed to get him with the second shot because he's not reacted to it. And this is where having such high DPM and a great reload comes into play. because this guy cannot do anything. He's perma-trapped there. Unless he uses his repair kit, he is screwed, because we're just going to keep him pinned there. And we get a nice bit of tracking on that guy after having him trapped there. And we just kept him perma-tracked. Now our team's moved up into the aggressive position on the A-line. I'm a bit more confident to move up now, try and push into a different position. The MX-30 is making me hesitate. We'll get a nice shot into him. I'm going to try and reverse back around this rock so that he just doesn't start pegging us. Because that is obviously one thing. We are a tier 8 TD. We don't actually have much hit points, so we just got to be aware of that. So we pull back, and we're going to see if we can get any shots at the guys in the middle, because we want to try and help that out. We don't want them to come up behind us and start shooting us. There's not much protection behind us, so that's just the way. We noticed this STRVK was quite low health, so we're going to try and get rid of this tier 9 heavy. We shut him down, and we're going to move forward. And I want to move up closer to this rock over here so that I can see if we can get some shots down onto this T32, which we have some nice shots now. He's in front of us. We've got to be careful because obviously we're the only person he can shoot, so we're just going to use the dead wreck of the SDRV to try and keep us covered. We're going to manoeuvre onto the different side of his wreck, so it's a bit harder for him to shoot us and find it. Just basically find a clean shot, because if we pull around the corner on that left-hand side where the SDRVK is, he's going to get an easy shot at us. If we pull around on the right-hand side, there's more cover from the dead tank, there's cover from the rocks in front, which makes it a bit more awkward. Like, obviously he's going to hit us, but you know. And there's also the flames of the SDRVK's dead wreck, which will obscure his vision a little bit, just make it that little bit harder, and that's why we're doing it. Now he is gone. I think he's gone anyway. We're going to poke up here to see if we can get shots at the Iron Rain that was spotted on the hill, but then we spot the piggy, and always shoot the piggy. So we get one shot into him. We're just going to risk it for a biscuit. I'm hoping that he doesn't just peg us with a shot. Then we get shot from the left, and it's like, okay, that's the Iron Rain. Absolutely not. We're not doing that. Not because he could have killed us there with his second shot. And we managed to duck down in time. We're just waiting for the spot to go. I'm sad that I didn't get to kill the artillery. But now the spot's gone, I can't poke up there because the Iron Rain will just peg us. So what I'm going to do is go up here and use the bushes in this little area here to try and get shots at the guys that are pushing across from directly behind us. And I'm hoping they'll push out into a position where I can actually shoot them. Because if I stay this far behind the bushes here, I was hoping I wasn't going to get spotted. But we did get spotted. We pop a shot into the Balsig there. I'm hoping my good reload will out DPM him. We do that. We had the chance there. I wanted to get rid of him, and we did. Fortunately enough for us, this SU-130PM that's behind us didn't realise he had shots at our back end, which is kind of lucky because he could have quite easily caught us out and finished us off. I don't really want to... I want to shut down this SU and go back towards where the SU is, because you see that heavy tank that's in the cap? I'm really hoping he doesn't come after us. We managed to shut down the SU. There's still that T-32. He didn't get finished off. He's still there. But then we spot the artillery, and it's like, well, we've got unfinished business, Mr. Piggy. So, bye-bye. Get some tasty, tasty bacon, get rid of him, and we're just going to drop down behind the T-32 now. Once we get a first shot in, we should be alright. We track him in place, we stop him from moving away, hoping to get the shot in before he gets another shot into us, and we finish him off. Now we know the TD and Heavy is still alive. There's only two tanks. It's a Waffle and an MX-65T. We have 2 shots of HE left. Now this is where the ammo is a problem. We only have 2 rounds of HE. 2. We're not doing anything to that 65T. The Waffle, on the other hand, we will. So I'm going to try and get a different angle on these guys again, go back above them, and see if I can get shot. But maybe this Waffle's out in the open, which means I can use this HE against him. The 65T gets destroyed. We unfortunately missed a shell with this HE. We're going to make sure now, though, with the final shell, and we shut him down. So we end up getting the important medal as well. We get the fade-ins, which is really nice. And again, a really great game for the Vindicator. It's not often that you run out of shells and do 5.5k in this tank. So we finished with 6 kills, 5.5k damage, 2.1k assist, ace tanker, fade-ins, middle, top gun, high caliber. And if we flick over, there we go, 2.5k base XP, like I say, the 6 kills. And that is 7.6k combined. Really nice game for the Vindicator. It's not that bad of a tank anymore, but it's still not the best TD to pick up. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success.